pretty much done for all tariffs for now. I think the big thing that's going to come up next is really on how parts are going to be taxed going forward. And it's a big chunk. We had a report out there today. Tesla, even though they make a lot of cars here, but about a third of their parts actually are imported from elsewhere, mainly low-cost country like Mexico. And hence, surprisingly, Ford Motor Company does build a lot of companies here, a lot of cars here in the US, but they only have some 30% content that's actually based in the US. So lots to come on the auto parts section of the tariffs.
Yeah, so let's just understand that a little bit more. So you have the actual
Mhm.
whole imported car versus the car part. And the whole imported car stuff should happen tomorrow or Thursday, whereas the car part is a May thing. Am I getting that relatively correct?
Yeah, that's right. It could be really huge. For example, I was just talking about Ford, right? Anything that comes in from Mexico, for example, the Mach-E, which they're losing tons of money on
Mm.
already, comes from Mexico. And then, if on top of that, the parts are actually coming from Mexico or any other low-cost country, that could actually lift the price of the vehicle even higher.
So, are the U.S. automakers, is this going to benefit them? And if so, how and to what degree? I'm unclear here.
Well, I mean, it's philosophical. There's, I think, debate on both sides. Uh, you know, automobiles are high value products. There's no argument against that. And, the design of the vehicle, the production of the vehicle, the manufacturing of the vehicles creates a lot of jobs in the US. In the manufacturing alone, if I'm, quoting some economists, every job that manufacturing creates, it creates another point 0.4 jobs, peripheral jobs
Hmm.
for that to support that manufacturing. So it does create a lot of jobs. It does create a lot of innovation. Example, we just had Rivian on. A
Hmm.
lot of these pure plays like Rivian, of Tesla, they make a lot of the high value components in-house and in the US already. And that has created a lot of innovation around cars and around how to make cars in a cheap way, a less expensive way. And I think there's debate, right? A lot of the legacy automakers have, outsourced that manufacturing to low-cost country, and maybe that's why they're facing a lot of the competition around the world where they can't really build cheap cars cheaply to the masses.
Is it possible that some of the winners are actually going to be other foreign companies? Like we were talking about, Paul just leased a hybrid that was built
Hmm.
either in Ohio or what was it, Virginia,
Somewhere, yeah,
somewhere south,
U.S. based.
U.S.
Yeah,
based. So, but it's a Honda. You can make the same
right.
argument for Toyota. Like, are those cars actually going to be the bigger winners here?
It could be. Like Japanese art, if you look at, potentially increasing prices for consumer, from an automaker's perspective, I think the Japanese are in a better position because there's still a lot of demand for their vehicles. Their inventory is relatively low, around 30 days to 40 days of sales, versus the average industry is like 70 days up, and some automakers are over 100 days. So in terms of pricing, I think the consumers will be willing to pay a little bit extra. And so Honda and, examples of Honda and Toyota may be able to get the consumers to absorb some of the higher tariff costs.